Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of the America Guns and Freedom Podcast with your host, me, the Yankee Marshal. I know a lot of you wish it would be someone different every day, but it's me every day. I'm here every day at 6 o'clock because I ain't got nothing better to do, I guess. But as always, this is just going to be a conversation between me and my viewers. It's very informal. If you've got any questions you want to ask or any topics you want to suggest, doesn't even have to be gun related, just let me know. I'll do my best to answer any questions, address every topic. Now, if you ask me something that I don't know the answer to, like maybe it's a technical question or it's about a product I don't have experience with, well, pay attention to the live chat. Someone out there will have the answer. So pay attention and participate, build a sense of community. That's why we're here every day. So people got a place to come every day and have a little convo with like-minded individuals about common interests. Excuse me. I like to start off every day by reading if we got any orders over the last 24 hours. I honestly don't know if we did or not yet. Let me look and see. I got to sign in to my Shopify page and see. I should make some Yankee Marshall scented candles. They're doing candles over there now. We got one order today, and it was from Jordan Hurst, and they got one of the Toy Guns for Tots ornaments. I got distracted by Clinton, Seattle. They're saying something. So thanks to them for helping support Toy Guns for Tots. And before we continue with all the questions and stuff, if you want to support Toy Guns for Tots or the channel, go on over to my website, TYMPpistolproject.com, and you can see it here. Let me share the window so you can see what I'm talking about. As you go over to TYMPpistolproject.com, and there's a link in the upper corner, you'll see the first thing you can do is donate Toy Guns for Tots. It's got a little blurb there about what Toy Guns for Tots is. Shows you pictures from previous years. Tells you how to donate and how to get entries into the drawings. So please do that. Or if you would rather have some merchandise, you go down right below it, click on that, and it will pop you over to my Shopify page. And at the very top of the page, there is a Toy Guns for Tots store. Anything you buy out of there comes with an entry into the drawing, and you can get stuff for yourself, or you can get some stuff here like an ornament and a mug that are made specifically to give as gifts for Christmas time. So get them and hold them until Christmas. Have them ready in case someone shows up you don't know. Get you some of the mugs and just put candy canes in them and hand them out. Take them to your office party, whatever. Everybody likes coffee mugs, and everyone likes making kids happy. So it's a perfect gift. So they're happy, and you get an entry into the drawing. So you're happy. So you had to get somebody a gift, but you got something out of it. Also over there, if you want, you can also just support the channel by becoming a TYMPP member, by becoming a Patreon member or a Subscribe Star member. You can use these links over here to become members on Subscribe Star and Patreon, or you can apply to be a TYMPP beneficiary, or you can nominate a veteran for Handguns for Heroes. So feel free to do any of that while you're over there. There's also drawings usually you can get entered in. There should be some new ones of both of these soon. So go on over there and get yourself registered and help out with Toy Guns for Tots or Pets and Vets. With that being said, let me go see if we got any questions coming in. I don't know if we got any questions coming in yet, but we do have, we got some really nice donations to Toy Guns for Tots today. We made our total today. So I shouldn't say that shit, because every time I say that, people stop donating. They're like, hey, made his total. You know what I mean? But we did. We made our total today. We got donations from Michael Jerd, made a nice donation, as well as did Edgar Cortez, made another nice donation. And David Eller donated today. So thanks, everybody, for donating. And then we got that little bit from over there where we sold an ornament. So thanks to everybody there. Officer Taterhayer chimed in with his $2 tithe to Phil and said, I sent more emails. I saw more and more reporters seem shocked cops would get off on a DUI charge. No, I saw that about the hundreds of cops charged with DUI. That's not surprised at all. Not surprising at all. Judges and cops get DUIs like crazy. That's why they go so easy on DUI drivers, judges, because they know they got them. If they set a precedent that you get slammed when you get a DUI, well, then they're going to get slammed next time they get one. And they know there's probably going to be a next time. So they don't want to set that precedent. Let's see, where are we at? What's today's date? Today's the 19th. So I think that's it for over on the super chats right now. We don't really got anything coming in over there. Well, we did get one more here. We got Christian Carlson. What did he say? Or was this a donation to Toy Guns? That was a donation to Toy Guns for Tots from Christian Carlson. So even a little more today for Tots. Let's go over here to the YouTube super chats, because remember tonight, if anybody donates through YouTube super chat, they get entries into the supplementary knife drawing, different than the one you get through going through PayPal, which we don't have any through PayPal yet, because Toy Guns for Tots donations don't count. That's just for Pets and Vets donations. So tonight, if you donate through Toy Guns through the YouTube link, you get a choice between this little, what's this thing called? Dimco knife. It's a little tiny, someone said a combat, like I said, yeah, it is a combat knife to fight off rabid hamsters, which I stabbed myself with earlier. Or you can choose the Tough Light pocket knife. And we've already got entrance over there, so we are definitely giving that away. And let's see here. Andrew Avila said, if I'm not mistaken, the person who runs Dimco used to be with Cold Steel, which does make sense because the person that donated all these knives collected Cold Steel, and then they got some Dimcos they sent in. So that makes sense. Nominal Snowman says 90% chance I'm laid off Friday. Woo, trucking. That's what you get for being a mother trucker. Like I said, though, you better save up, get yourself a nice cardboard box, go live under a bridge. It seems more enticing every day to do that. Just be a hermit, live in under a bridge somewhere. Or is that trolls that live under bridges? Hermits live in caves, don't they? Trolls live under bridges. Go be a troll, I guess. I don't know. I think I'd rather be a hermit than a troll, because trolls turn into stone if sunlight hits them. I do like to go outside every now and then. The Art of Right, Zach, I'm losing my voice. The Art of Right, I better pour my soda. The Art of Right, Zach said, Pets and Vets. That's all he said. He didn't say anything else. He just said Pets and Vets. Let me pour my soda here real quick. Clinton Seattle said, wanted to let you know I got my sweet Mora knife today. Thank you so much. Glad it made it. Seems like everybody's getting their knives now. Edgar Cortez signed in, says, Yank, Oliver B. and I have been chatting about ACA premium increases. A lot of people are going to lose coverage. Any thoughts? I think that politicians don't care. And medical prices ain't going to go down. They're constantly going up, and people who have to have insurance are going to be paying more, and they don't care if people are on the verge of poverty just because they have to pay for basic health care. They're fine with that as long as they keep making their money. Now, I think most of the healthcare organizations would rather that money keep coming in from the government so they can count on it. But our medical system isn't set up to be the best care system possible. It's set up to be the most profitable care system possible. And people say, well, they should make it to where no one goes bankrupt if they need medical care. Well, they want that because that increases how much profit they can make. Because for every 5 people they get in there with really good insurance that they make a really nice profit off of, all it takes is like 2 people with no insurance that they quadruple charge and then write that off on their taxes as if they actually spent that money when they didn't. It makes everything they really earned tax-free. So they make even bigger profits by people going bankrupt. Unfortunately, they don't care that it makes other people suffer. It makes their bottom line better. So that's what they care about. And as far as politicians caring about your health, they don't give 2 shits. They wouldn't care if all of you died tomorrow. If half of you passed away, they'd be like, it wasn't the half that's worth anything. So I don't think any of them really care. The biggest thing about the ACA wasn't about saving people's lives. It was about government money for the insurance agents. How do we make it to where we can pay people's insurance premiums with taxpayer money? And the insurance companies can make out like fucking bandits. The hospitals can make out like fucking bandits. But it looks like we care. That's all it was all about. Because politicians don't give two shits. Ain't none of them worth a damn. I can't think of a single politician that I have any respect for. But that's the super chats tonight. Let me make sure I got all of them over here. Because that was Edgar Cortez was our last one. No, we got James Hamilton chimed in over here. Let's see if he said anything. Nope, that was a Toy Guns for Tots donation. So thanks, James Hamilton, for that. And then Christian Carlson chimed in again. I'm betting this time it's a question. What do people do when they are carrying in a big box store and have to use the bathroom? When you sit, where do you put your 38 Super? Well, nobody has a 38 Super, but if they have like a 38, when you sit, you just don't take your pants down below your knees. You just get them stuck right there at your knees. If you're someone who somehow can't go to the bathroom, if your pants aren't all the way down, like weirdos that drop their drawers at the urinal. I've seen that in real life, not just little kids. Little kids do it, but I've seen adult men do that in the military. Saw that. I actually had to call out one guy one time when I was working reception station when I was first made E4, and I walk into I'm doing like just patrol day watch, and I go in and the guy's got his pants down to his knees taking a piss, and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? But yeah, what was the question? Oh, where do you put your gun? You just don't let your pants drop below your ankles. If you do and you feel real self-conscious about it, take your gun out of your holster, stick it in your undies. Don't stick it on toilet paper or the back of the toilet or anything of that, because people leave their guns that way. That's how cops leave their guns behind all the time. Make sure it's still part of you. It's like in something, either your holster or your panties or your pocket. Put it in your pocket if you have to. Be very careful, but if it's a revolver, you should be okay. Let's see. We got another chat coming in over here. Andrew P said, patience, certificate of news. I don't know what that word is. Drug approval, AMA residence limits, and lack of nurse practitioners, independence to blame for high cost care. No, none of that shit. That's all stuff they make up. There is no nursing shortage. That's just something hospitals make up so that they don't properly staff. There are tons of nurses out there working and needing work, looking for work, that end up working at subpar places that don't pay shit because there's not enough, like the good places aren't hiring enough nurses. It's like here we got people working for Adventists, and it's the worst fucking place to work as a nurse. They got so many fucking rules because they're a Christian organization, and they treat their employees like crap. They pay them the worst wages in the state. They give them the worst benefits in the state. They don't negotiate with them when it's time for contracts and all this other stuff. So it's like you only work there if you got no other way to work, but they don't have any trouble getting nurses because there ain't no shortage of nurses. And nurses work there do so because either they can't get a job somewhere else, they suck, or the other places aren't staffing enough. And then they'll be like, oh, we just can't staff. There's a nursing shortage. And there'll be 20 nurses that applied that day that they don't hire any of. So it's mostly crap. It's just that's the way they want the system to work because that's what is the most profitable. Practical Bacon says, do you like to camp? No, I used to. I used to camp a lot. We used to go camping, and I used to camp as family vacations. We go camping. We go camping at the beach in like South Carolina and stuff. I love camping on the beach, except for the sand. That's a pain in the ass. But it's nice to get a campsite that's like right off the beach. Because once you get sand in your tent, it's there forever. You got to buy a new tent. And same thing with your backpack. Once you get sand in it, you just got to buy a new one because it ain't coming out. But what was the question? Oh, yeah, I used to like to camp. Nowadays, if it ain't got at least 3 stars, I ain't staying in it. You know, so it's going to have to be a Best Western or better for me to be interested. I used to stay at some shitty hotels too. Good God. I've stayed in hotels where I'm like, try to sleep on the part of the bed that doesn't have blood stains on the mattress. You know, Don't look under the bed. I've been in hotels that I was literally scared to look under the bed. Like I was staying at this real cheesy motel once. I thought it was shut down from the outside, but it was working. It was in business. The door had plywood screwed on it where someone had kicked a hole through the door, the main door to the hotel, to the room. That's one of those you park right in front of your room. And I'm laying in bed and I heard something and felt something move under the bed, probably an animal. And it probably could come and go through a hole under the bed because the whole room was really drafty. And I was afraid to look. I just said, I'm just going to lay here till morning and leave. So, but I know I don't camp, to answer the question, anymore. I used to. I'm just not interested in it anymore. In fact, last time we went camping, it fucking rained on us the whole fucking time. And we had been in a drought right up until that day. And we get there, the day we get there, it starts raining. Well, you can't make a fire because of the drought. We're still in no fire law rules. So we're there for 5 days, rains every day, can't make a fire. You know, the third night there, we wake up and our inflatable mattress is just about floating in the tent because the water has started coming through the tent and flooding our little area. We had to move. And I was just like, I almost got up and left right then. We were still supposed to stay another day. We got up the next morning. I packed up all the shit. In fact, I didn't even pack up all the shit. I left a lot of it. And we just threw it in the dumpster and left. Because, you know, I didn't want to pack the tent back up. So I just picked it up, threw it in the dumpster. And never have gone camping again. And don't plan on it. But no, I don't like to camp. That was Practical Bacon that asked me if I like to camp. Andrew P. says, Michelle Obama goes on hair straightening rant. I don't care about Michelle Obama's hair or what she thinks about hair. I don't ever think about Michelle Obama's hair. Zachary Pike chimed in. Is this a question? Yes. Sorry, had to stop top tier Patreon a while back. Had a kid and another one on the way. Life's getting really expensive. Well, put your dick back in your pants, you bastard. Well, unless, of course, it's not you getting your wife pregnant, well, then it's not your fault. But if it is you getting your wife pregnant, well, then it's your fault. So I blame you. I don't blame, well, and her. I guess she could say no. Unless she's just a girl that can't say no, I guess. Isn't that a song or something? Speaking of losing subs, though, I don't know what I did today or yesterday. Did I say something offensive during yesterday's chat? Because I lost 7 patrons today. Didn't lose any subscribe star people, but lost 7 patrons. And none of them filled out exit interviews so that I could even understand what they're mad about. I don't think I said anything about Trump yesterday or anything. I did say I thought the economy is supposed to be better, and it ain't, but I don't think of anything beyond that. I said, what did I say yesterday? It pissed people off so bad. Must have been something, because you don't lose that many people in one day without saying something. But yeah, that was Zachary Pike talking about life is getting expensive, and you're having kids when the what do you call it, is the economy is at its worst. But I would say, like I said, though, my number one thing I would tell you to do is find out who's getting your wife pregnant and make them stop. That'd be the best thing you could do. That'd be the more prudent thing, I would guess. He also donated the toy guns for tots. They must not be too broke. He donated toy guns for tots. Samuel White chimed in and said, excuse me. He didn't say that. That's not what he said. He said, what's the best outside carry holster for the combat elite? And where to buy? Knife, please. The combat elite. I guess he's talking about, is he talking about the Smiths or the 1911s? Either way, the holsters I like best for outside carry is I like Lone Wolf if I'm going to order a custom one, $17.91 if I'm going to get one off the shelf, or Azula if I want to get one quick off of YouTube or no Amazon. Too many fucking websites. There's just too many websites these days. You know, it's just like everything you have to refer to a website for everything. Like I got it from Amazon or something.com or eBay, or I get confused. I don't know where it got what or when or how. Let's see, where were we at? Okay, I can get to the emails now. Mo G said, thoughts on Platinum Edition Underwood Extreme Penetrator versus regular Underwood Extreme Penetrators. I don't know what the difference is between the Platinum Edition, to be honest. So my thoughts are I'm going to get whichever one's cheaper. Or I'm going to find out what the Platinum ones are and maybe like those better. I don't know. I'd have to think about it. Audit 2 says, do you think an internal hammer semi-auto could be made full auto, easily modified, that will eventually fall in the anti-gunner's definition? Wait, he's talking semi-auto with an internal hammer. Well, yeah, if the sear, if it's cocking that internal hammer with every pullback of the slide, well, you can modify that to where the sear ain't catching, and then it's just slam firing every time it goes back forward. That's full auto. Easily modified will eventually fall into the anti-gunner's definite. Well, they're going to say anything is easily modified. If you can do it with a chisel, a file, a welder, some minor industrial machinery, that'll be easily modified as far as they're concerned. If you can cut out a piece and weld back in a different one and shape it down with a file, that's easily modified. Even though most fucking people that own guns can't fucking change the trigger on a gun, or can't change a part. But yeah, they can. Everybody's easily modifying these guns. Most of them, if you said, hey, here, take this CZ75B and put this new hammer on it, you'd come back a day later and it'd be in 50 pieces in the floor and they'd be crying. But yeah, everybody is doing it. Plus, he said, the FN reflex is really calling my name. I would think it would take major modification. Your thoughts on this topic? I don't think it's not major modifications if you know what you're doing and you have the tools to make a fully automatic gun. Because like I've said many times, it's easier to make a fully automatic gun than it is from scratch, a fully automatic gun, than it is a semi-automatic gun. Because one of the most taxing parts of making a fully automatic is making it where it stops that cycle. Because, if it's just, you've got a hammer that's back and then you pull it and it goes forward and hits a round and sets it off. And then the slide is cocking that hammer again. Well, the hardest part of that, the most intricate part of that is how do you stop that hammer from just following the slide back forward? That's when you get into sears and all this other stuff, and it's more complicated. But it'd be real easy to make a gun that was double action on the first pull, and then a hammered semi-automatic was double action on the first pull and then fully automatic. It would be easier than making a semi-automatic gun. So it's not what I'd call difficult, but it's complicated in a way. It's beyond most people. Let's just say that. Nominal Snowman says, I saw a video from a guy called Focus Trip. He claimed the P320 has stacking tolerances due to some parts that were mem instead of stamped to save money. How the fuck is a single folded stamp part more expensive than a molded part? What an idiot. Yeah, but these people don't know what they're talking about. They just making shit up and repeating stuff they heard. And, they'll take one little thing and turn it into 50. Like, once this happened once or twice. Well, suddenly it happens all the time. It's all that kind of crap that happens on your net all the time. It's like someone, in my recent videos about Colts, there were 3 different screen names, at least three that I found that told the same story about their cousin buying a Colt King Cobra or Colt Cobra, and within 30 rounds it broke, just snapped to pieces, and it was always their cousin. And I'm sure at one point that probably happened to somebody or their cousin, but now 20 different people are telling the story like it's them, so because they read it somewhere. And that happens all the time with stuff. You got to base stuff. find people you know that actually know something about the topic or experience it yourself before you make real decisions, because all the internet does is amplify the negative or amplify the paid positive. So it's really not a good source for most things in most places. Where was I at? What were we doing? I was going through the emails, I do believe. Where am I at on the emails? I thought I had more emails than that. Oh, I did get an email from, I don't know who this is, Victor or something. He said he had a Colt break, and he sent a picture of what broke. Let's see here, which I'm sure he did. I'm not going to say he didn't, because things happen, things break, especially when you're you're making thousands of something. Every now and then you're going to get something that breaks. There's what he said broke. Says what did he say? It says hook on hammer sheared off. Okay, well, that must be the little part that's on the bottom, that the little bar, that where you link the hammer spring and the trigger, where the power goes. So that would make sense that if something was going to break it. Wait, does he show it here? Oh, yeah. Okay. You can see it right here. It would go right here. And this little piece right here, looks like a link from a chain, would go under it. And that's a high stress point right there. So if there was a flaw, which if you look right there, if you look up close, let's see, can we look at that close? I almost see some evidence there that there might have been some air pockets. Does that look like to you all there might be dimples there? So there might have been air pockets in that piece, and that's not good. And that does happen every now and then. I mean, I've mainly seen it with Rugers because they use a lot of cast pieces. But anytime you cast a piece, which they shouldn't be casting triggers, as far as I'm concerned, you should not use a cast trigger. I mean, it could be plenty strong. I'm not going to be one of the people that goes, if it's MIM, it's got to be weak. No, the MIM pieces are just almost as strong as forged if they're done right. But that looked like it had oh, wait, could you all see the picture I was just showing? I don't think you could. Hold on. Let me close this one. Let me share the picture, because I think you all are still seeing the. Okay, there we go. Let me scooch in. I'm thinking that there possibly could be. Does that look like maybe there's some voids in there? It looks like there's two circular voids, maybe even a third one down here. Because usually when things snap, they don't snap with little divots like that. They snap clean, straight along, path of least resistance. That looks like it's got little divots in it. Like maybe there was some, in it. And that can happen. I wouldn't say that means it happens on all of them. In fact, I bet it's very rare. But that's something they would definitely replace, I would say. Is there more to the email? Nope, that's it. But I'm sure they replaced it. You can get replacement triggers too, I think. I wouldn't buy a replacement trigger because of something there, but you can if it really bothers you that something uses MIM. You shouldn't use MIM on high stress pieces like that. Even that's just my own personal opinion. Once again, like I said, MIM parts can be plenty strong, but I don't like it. And does anybody agree with me that it looks like there might be some pockets in that? Or am I just seeing things? Let's see, where are we at? Boom, boom, boom. Where was I? I think that's all the emails, and I think I got all the super chats. So I think we're ready to go over here, see if there's anything coming in on the live chat. Without divesting any guns or material crap, I can go 5+ years without working. Sold off nearly everything except guns. I can go anywhere for work. Don't even have a lease. I think it was because they don't even have a life. I can go 5 years without working because I don't work now. That's because I'm retired and we planned ahead, and pretty soon I'll be able to take Social Security. Not much longer, like 6 years. Get me that sweet, sweet government check. Then it'll be even more important that I give away all my YouTube stuff so that they don't say I'm making too much money. All the silencers I'm doing in January are from Form 1s. Form 1 approvals are good indefinitely. I could build an approved form a decade from now. Won't cost me anything. That's why I'm filing. Well, I was going to say, I hope you haven't bought all your stuff yet. I dropped a few coins in the kid's stocking. Thanks. Well, good. Thank you. I saw that. I read your name over there. I remember reading it. Yeah, I said you and Edgar Cortez and Michael Jared were the two that made me not want to slit my wrists earlier because there were donations when I came and checked. And had gotten us to where we needed to be for the day and then some. So I was tickled pink. Still kind of tickled pink. Although my stomach's all rumbly and I might shit my pants. So I'm not like outwardly ecstatic right now. But we're doing okay. Where were we? Let me get back over here. Maybe their cards got canceled. They broke. Oh, the people that got the people that left. Well, I didn't see because there's different levels. There's different places you can look at. There's people that left, and there's people that their cards didn't clear. And it's two different things. Like I can look here and I can see. Where are people whose cards declined? My subscribers, active subscribers, not paid subscribers. See, they put those under not paid. They didn't actually quit being a patron. They just haven't paid. And that's usually because their card's bad. Like Peter D's on there, but I think he got a new card. And Fire Goozy, people like that. They're probably doing stuff under new cards now. But it lists them different. All right, where were we? I don't think that many people would have their cards canceled in one day. I think I said something pissed people off. I just don't remember what it was. Is a 1911 and 38 special as gay as one in 38 super? Well, I don't know that there are any in 38 special. I mean, the Coonans used to do 357 mag and stuff, and they were similar to a 1911, but it's too long of a bullet. So it's actually more unique. So it's better. It's weaker, but it's better. But if you can do 38 special in it, make it where you can do 387. It'd be a Coonan. Although they're out of business, aren't they? Did they ever come back in business? Because remember, it was like they're out of business, but they said they're not out of business. They said they're coming back. They had a lot of people that had guns that were supposed to be getting fixed, and they said, well, we're going to do it, but then they never did it, and then they never came back. I don't know what happened. I think now they're just officially defunct. Yeah. So I don't know whatever happened, but they made a 357 Magnum, basically a 1911. Now, what it was 1911. Grip safety, manual safety, double action, single action trigger. It was a big hulking 1911, but it was in 357 Magnum. And boy, was it hard to hold. That grip was huge. So maybe it not been the best idea. In fact, it obviously wasn't the greatest gun in the world. The fact that they are not around anymore. But yeah, I don't know what I was going for with that. I don't have a lease or life, but the no lease lets me cut and run at a moment's notice. Moment's notice works best for my personality. Oh no, what would work best for your personality is, some chains and some rocks and a deep body of water. If I had to put up with your personality, that would be my best solution for it. If I had to put up with you in person, maybe a hammer and then a chain and some rocks, cinder blocks, and deep body of water. Would you ever get a 22 TCM? I don't think so. I'm not a big fan of 22. I'm not a big fan of things like 17 or 22 or any of those things. Not a big fan of. Let me look and see what the one gun I can think of that's available in that. What was the gun? Is it a Rock Island Armory that I'm thinking of? I think it was a Rock Island Armory. I can't find it right now. Do they still make it? Yeah, I don't think I would. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of smaller rounds, calibers, but I mean, that's different because it's not, for one, I don't think it's rim fired. But it's got, the body is almost as big as like a 9mm, right? So you're not really getting. How big is the body? What's the diameter on the damn thing? What's the diameter on one? I can't find it, but I'm thinking it's like a 9mm, isn't it? So you're not getting any more rounds. You're just getting a really fast, small bullet. And I just don't like the stability and long range use of the little small bullets. They lose a lot. They got a lot up close, but they lose a lot, and they're not the most stable. You know what I mean? With less mass, it's hard to make them stable. But I don't know. I might buy one. Depends on what they made it in. If they made it in a really cool gun, I might buy one. I don't see any really cool guns in it. Let me see. Let's see. Is there any guns that I even see? Is it just the Rock Island? Is that it? Does anybody know of any guns it's chambered in? Because I'm not interested in a 1911, that's for sure. Someone says there's that's still Rock Island. Well, they got that Rock Island polymer gun. That thing actually looks kind of cool. But I think that might be it for. So yeah, probably not unless they came out with a really cool gun with it. Believe me, the words for that are always there. The meds just make them less of a cacophony. Well, I'm not talking about doing it to yourself. That's sinful. You go to hell for that. I'm saying me murdering you. See, that's not as, you don't go to hell for that. I guess you'd go, maybe. No, I don't think you're going to go to heaven. Unless you change your ways. What's your favorite sandwich chain? It's either Jersey Mike's or you're wrong. Chain? Oh. Whew. I don't know. Probably Subway. I like their tuna sandwiches. Not a big fan of going out for sandwiches. Big chain, that's harder to say. But we had a local sandwich place over in Portland. I can't remember the name of it, but they made really good sandwiches. And I love stopping and getting their sandwiches because they were just really good. But they weren't a big chain. I think they had like 2 stores throughout the greater Portland area. But really good. But I don't know of any good like sandwich places anymore. They're sub places. But as far as like a real true sandwich, it's hard to find places that just make an actual sandwich. So yeah, I don't know if I'd have one. I like making sandwiches at home. But there was also a place in Huntsville that made really good sandwiches, and I can't remember the name of that place either. I know they had the Stakeout; those were awesome. You could get steak sandwiches, and their version of a steak sandwich was a great big old bun with a ribeye steak on it, and then lettuce, tomato, mayonnaise, and cheese, which is the toppings I like anyway. So, but it was like a ribeye steak on a bun, and it was so good. Wish we had Stakeouts around here, but we don't. Let's see, where are we at? I'm hellbound no matter what. No atheists in foxholes except me. Fuck God. Well, don't be rude about it. I'm not rude about it. I don't say fuck your magic genie in the sky that you just use as an excuse to be a horrible, horrible person and discriminate against people and try to justify your own hatred. I don't usually say that. I'm trying to remember the place that I really liked the sandwiches from. They had a really good turkey sandwich. I can't remember. Southwest Airlines will no longer let fake disabled people in wheelchairs board first. Ends wheelchair first boarding after years of abuse. Some flights saw 100+ requests. And what is the desire of people to get on the plane first? It still leaves at the same time. I'm the person that I sit in I'm out at, they're calling final boarding. I'm still at like the newsstand, picking up candy and doing like that, going, okay, now I'm going to go get on because they're calling final boarding. All I ever have is like a little satchel that I can stick up under the front seat or up and above bin. I've never really been on a flight where I didn't be able to take my little bag on because I travel very light. When I go to SHOT Show, I take a little satchel. It's got my iPad in it. It's got, and 2 extra pairs of jeans, 2 extra t-shirts, 2 extra underwear, and blah, blah, blah. And that gets me through the 2-3 days I'm there. And that's all I carry. I might wear a jacket if it's going to be cold. It's not usually cold there, so I don't worry about that usually. But I always figure if I have to, I'll buy a jacket while I'm there if it gets real cold. But yeah, I've never understood why people want to get on the plane first. It's not like people get on the plane first, get off first, or get there first. No, it's you leave at the same time and you get off at the same time when you get there. Your seat's assigned, so maybe on Southwest it makes a little bit of a difference. Where your cattle call, that would make sense, but so that you don't get that backwards facing seat. I'd get so fucking sick in that seat. But yeah, I don't understand why people want to get on the plane first. Just never understood that. The McRib is back. I just had one. It was pretty good and loaded with barbecue sauce. My son Zyler loved the fucking McRibs. He would get excited when it was McRib season. And he talked me into trying a McRib one time. And I was like, oh, so that's what styrofoam tastes like if you put cheap barbecue sauce on it. Because it was gross. But he loved those fucking things. Although I don't know if he eats them now. I haven't seen him get one now. But when he was like 11, 12, that was his favorite thing, was them fucking McRib sandwiches. Of course, back then, Caden used to love to go to McDonald's too. Caden was a big McDonald's kid. He loved McDonald's. And then he graduated to Carl's Jr. Got an appointment to take the new cat to the vet Friday. I didn't even know you had a new cat. You're leading with the wrong story there. In Oklahoma, a female 7-Eleven clerk was fired because she shot a crook who strangled her and threatened to cut her head off after he attempted to pass a counterfeit bill. I don't understand. Businesses do that shit. They don't want employees to fight back. You should have let him strangle you. If you fire someone for fighting back when their life's at stake, I think you should be liable in a lawsuit. It's like you took their livelihood away because they defended themselves in a potentially deadly situation. You owe them what they would have earned working for you till their retirement age. I think if companies had to start doing that, they'd start going, well, the potential liability is just, no, they'd start going, hey, if we fire her for defending herself, we're going to have to pay her the next 25 years' wages. I think we won't do that. Yeah, going to be a couple hundred shots, blood tests, etc. A couple hundred. Hell, we took Turnip to the vet the other day, and he got nothing but a routine exam, and it was $400. Do hammered revolvers really stick a lot in pockets when pocket carrying? Are the double action only ones really worth it? If you know how to draw, you gotta know. And who pocket carries full-size revolvers or even J-frame revolvers? They're too big. But if you know how to draw, most people are going to have a lot of experience with revolvers, are going to draw with their thumb on the hammer, which is going to prevent it from hooking on anything, plus going to allow you to cock that hammer quickly when you're coming up trying to make your first accurate shot. So, yeah, I've never seen it be a problem. Ever watched Smiling Friends yet? A masterclass in animation. I saw something of it. I didn't. It wasn't for me. A jackass dumped a cat by my house. He is underweight. Oh, poor little kitty. Well, make sure he eats more. Ever buy Squidbilly's hat? You could put off the early Kyler look well. Well, he doesn't wear hats that say Squidbillies on them. He wears hats that say, boob inspector and all that stuff. Or free hat. He wore one that said free hat. And then he wore the donkey dick hat that he got in Mexico. But he wore that to church. That was his church going hat. So, yeah, I wouldn't mind having some of the hats he's worn on the show. But he didn't wear Squidbilly's hat. And for some fucking reason, every time I go on, well, I know what the reason is. It's because my kids think they're funny. Every time we go on Netflix, you know how they got the little icons for people? Mine is always early Kyler. And I switch it back. I change it to Darth Vader or something like that. And then the next time I go back Netflix, it's back to early Kyler. Because my kid thinks he's funny. He also thought it was funny one time to replace my driver's license with a fake driver's license with a picture of a Sasquatch on it. That he must have ordered because it's got my name on it, but it's got a picture of a Sasquatch and all this other stuff. So I went to buy a car and they're like, we need your driver's license. And I don't ever look at my driver's license. So I pulled out, gave it to them. They walked away and they came back with it. And he's like, I don't think we can take this. And they gave it to, and I'm like, it's a fucking fake Sasquatch ID. And he had tucked my driver's license over behind my credit card, which I also never use hardly. But yeah, I didn't even know it was in there until I went to buy a car. I don't understand revolver frame sizes. What, you don't understand that some things are, what is it, the size that you don't understand? Scale? Dimensions, because that's what it is. Some are bigger, some are smaller. J frames are the smallest, and then the KL frames are very similar sizes. They're just slightly different, so that they could have more room for the forcing cone in there. And then X, well, you left out N. You just said JKLX. You left out the N frames. N frames are like the, 44 Magnum, stuff like that. And then you get into the X's and we call them the great big ones. I'm forgetting the name right now, but but it's just size. Just which ones are bigger. You understand bigger and smaller, right? I'm not trying to explain the physics of dimensions to you, just what each one of those means, right? What's your favorite type of pickle? Sour, sweet? I like a good sweet pickle. There's this one company, and I forget their name. I think it's Famous Dave's. They got a pig on the label, and they make a spicy sweet pickle, a hot sweet pickle. That's the best fucking pickle, because that's the same kind of pickles my grandmother used to make. She used to make these spicy sweet pickles. She'd make some that were just sweet. She made some was just sweet, but someday she made some that were spicy sweet. And the Famous Dave's, the first time I ever tasted them, I was like, this is my grandmother's pickle. So those are awesome. I love the Famous Dave's spicy sweets. I think it's Famous Dave's. It might be something else, but I think it's Famous Dave's, and they got a pig on the label. You and early Kyler look like you were separated at birth. I don't have comb over, nor do I have 6 legs. They're squids, right? So they have 6 legs. Although on the show they have they have different numbers of legs at different times, but I'm pretty sure he's a squid. Have you ever had a cowboy boot phase or cowboy hat? I own a cowboy hat. As far as a cowboy boot phase, no, I've owned cowboy boots. I mean, back in my day, most guys owned a pair of cowboy boots, or either had cowboy boots or biker boots. I had both at one point or another. I've never been a big fan of them. I've always found them to be very slick. So never cared for them. Also found them to not be very comfortable. I don't like putting them on. It's like it's too much effort, and then you feel like you're trapped in them once you get them on. I don't like shoes. I especially don't like shoes that cover too much of your foot. We still have a few stakeouts around, and they are still good. Well, that's good. The Smith revolvers go in alphabetical order. I just assumed it was like Smith pistols, just random ass fucking numbers and shit. The Smith & Wesson. No, there's it's J, K, L, N, X. Let's see here. What's the one I keep forgetting? All I gotta do is type in S and it'll take me to Smith & Wesson. Well, hell, they don't even say it on the website anymore. They used to say J, K. Now they just say small, medium, large, extra large. So that's what they say now. They used to denote what frame it was. Now you just go frame size. It just says extra large. When did they start doing that? They don't even seem to use the J and the. Let me see if they're using it on the small ones. Small. Let's see. Let's see what it says under frame size. Frame size small. They used to use the titles, but they don't like what it was. Yeah. J, K, L, N, and X. I thought there was a different one. There was also Z, and then there was an M, but they don't do the M's anymore. Now it's just J, K, L, N, X, and Z. Is the Z, are those the like the governors and stuff? Is that the Z? Let's see. Smith. Governor frame size. Yes, that's the Z frame. That's one I couldn't remember. The Z is the governor. That's the one I couldn't remember. The X is like the 500 and stuff like that. And then the Z is the governor. I knew it was different. And I know they don't make the M anymore, so that's irrelevant. But it's J, K, L, N. And then technically, I think the X frame would be bigger than the Z frame. Well, no, the Z frame's longer. So I guess that's why it's the biggest frame. So then it's X and Z. But it's just basically small, medium, still medium, large, extra large, and then special extra large because it's long, like an XLT kind of. I'm going to do it. I think I've done videos on all that before, but wait, what was that? Hey, Yankee, I was able to get my new gun today. This is awesome. Let me share this email. I got a couple emails over here I need to share real quick before we get out of here. Share screen. First, let's share the one from Ghost Shadow. He said, I would like to get my hands on one before they trim the barrel. It has to be 4 inches to import. Yeah, they have to. A lot of guns are like that. Even, Chiapas and stuff. When they come in, they got a barrel sticking out the end of them. Be kind of fun to port that or something. Just kind of, if you could get a hold of one before they cut them down. Which I don't see why they wouldn't be able to give you one before they cut it down. Shit, I didn't. That was not right. I hit the wrong button. All right, share screen now. I got another one here. This is from Soulless Ginger. Hey, Yankee, I was able to get my new gun today. This is awesome, and I can't wait to take it to the range. There, he got his 510, or not 510, his 410 axe, Henry axe. That used to be right there. Now there's an empty gaping hole there. Big gaping empty hole. Sad, really. It's really quite sad. What was I looking at over here? Yeah. But that's good. You got that. And hopefully in the next day or so, I'll order a silver bullet once I got some money without having to take it out of my other account. Which I guess I could just take it out of my gun savings account and get it ordered and then put it back when I was no, but then I end up having to transfer money from the business account to my personal account, and that doesn't look good when you go to do taxes. That's intermingling funds. That can bite you in the ass. So, Famous Dave's is insanely costly. It's either awesome barbecue or burnt throat shred and charred splinters. Well, I don't go to eat their barbecue. I buy their pickles. There is a Famous Dave's over by our airport, and I've gone there, and it's okay, but it's awfully salty. Seems to me it's just too salty. In Colorado, 2 million fentanyl pills were found in auctioned off storage unit. You'd think the property manager would have checked it out the unit before the auction. Yeah, that's a lot of money he gave away. He could have got those and sold them. That was a really bad business decision. The problem is the other revolver companies don't use the Smith letter system. It's a Red Hawk, an X frame. Well, you have to say, a lot of times you'll hear people say, this is their version of this frame. But no, they don't use the same numbers. That's Smith & Wesson's numbering system. A lot of them just say small, medium, and large or extra large. Like it seems like Smith's doing now to try to alleviate some of the confusion. But let's see. I think that's it for today. Let me make sure I'm caught up on all the supers. Oops, I have to log back in because I got logged out. I'm caught up on all the ones over here. We'll do the drawings here in a minute. I know we got to do the one for here. I don't know if we got to do the one for the main knife drawing, but let's see. How many did we get entries over here? 1, 2, 3, 4. We didn't get enough people. We'll do it anyway, though. We had a good day for Pets and Vets. We'll go ahead and do a knife drawing today. And Johnny Mandrick says, not dead yet. What is the best sandwich? And is a hot dog a sandwich? A hot dog is not a sandwich. It is not sandwiched between two pieces of bread. It is wedged into one piece of bread. If anything, it's more of an eclair than it is a sandwich. But the best one, I'm partial to a club. Lettuce, tomato, mayonnaise, and cheese on turkey, ham, and roast beef. That's my favorite sandwich, a club. Ham, turkey, roast beef, lettuce, tomato, mayonnaise, and cheese. And I'm happy. That's the best sandwich. And no, a hot dog is not a sandwich. But that catches us up. So let's first do the drawing for the little knife, the little Dimco. Let me see how many entries we had over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 entries. So let's generate a number between 1 and 8. Random number generator between 1 and 8. It's 8. So that would be the last person who donated, which would be Practical Bacon. So let me know which one of these you want, the little Tough Light or the little tiny hamster fighting knife. Whichever one you would want here, let me know. Send me an email, says knife winner, and which one you want and your address. And now let's do the drawing for the regular knife. The regular. Let me see. Let me count the entries here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 13, 16, 17, 18. All right, let's generate a number between 1 and 18. And the number is 12. So the winner is, let's count our way down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then that's 7. So that's 13. So the winner is Samuel White. Samuel White. You know the drill. Let me know which one you want. Send me an email. Knife winner in the subject line, in the body, which knife you want, and your address. And with that, I'm going to say thanks, everybody, for coming. I appreciate it, especially all the people that made Pets and Vets a good day today. Not Pets and Vets, Toy Guns for Tots. Pets and Vets is going to suffer during Toy Guns for Tots. That always happens. But thanks, everybody, for everything you do for the channel, just watching. If you watch my videos, remember, thumb up the videos, assholes. I've been trying to get people to thumb up the videos. I like a nice thumb up every now and then. I might need one to keep things in. But thanks for everything you do for the channel. I appreciate it, especially for helping out with the programs and helping other people in need, animals in need, and kids in need. It's appreciated. Plus, especially since I get to take all the credit. I'm the one who gets to go drop off the toys. I'm the one who writes the checks to the animal groups and everything. I'm the one who gets to stand there with the big check, grinning like an idiot, acting like that's all because of me. I don't do that, though. I do tell them it's not me donating, it's my viewers. But thanks, everybody. Like I said, I appreciate it. I'll see y'all again tomorrow. Until then, remember, always carry and stay safe until I see you again. Please hit that like button and share this video on whatever social media you have. Since this is a restricted channel, you're the only chance we have to overcome YouTube's anti-2A bias and discrimination.